What's going on, Colts Nation? Appreciate you joining me for another video where in this one we are doing the post-game talk about the Rams game. Obviously, did not finish the way we wanted it to. We were in control there at the end and lost control of different points where we were in control of this one, honestly. And of course, the big story coming out of this one being A.D. Mitchell. Right? The things surrounding him coming into this game, right? Last week put a video out like, hey, this is a chance. We get to see what we finally have with him. We get to see everything that we've hoped he could be, could happen in this game. With the situation, with the matchup that he had, it just felt like, I felt like there was a chance for him to at some point have a big play, to be able to really have an impact on this game. And he got the big play. What was really kind of a dangerous throw, and A.D. Mitchell somehow comes out of it with the catch, and not only with the catch, but gets away from two people, runs away from them, and what I thought scored a touchdown. Like, when I was live for the game, like, I was going nuts. Like, oh my gosh, it happened. Like, we talked about it going into the game. He got the huge touchdown. Oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden you see that the refs are talking and the ball slips out of his hand. He's holding it as he's running. He doesn't need to switch the hands. And as he's running, he goes to switch it to his right hand to reach it out for no reason. And it comes out of his hand. And it cost us 7 points. And even after that point, defense was doing their thing. Defense had a really good day for the most part. And they continued to do their thing. They were holding the Rams off. They kept getting us the ball back. And then we were able to go down, got Jonathan Taylor going a bit and throwing the ball well. And we made our way down, scored a touchdown. And we were up. Right? And then the very first play of the Rams' next drive, boom, fumble on the handoff. Right, Mike Hilton gets there, hits the running back, but they fumbled the handoff. And we get the ball. We end up getting a field goal. Now, getting a field goal there, that's another story. We'll talk about some more here in a minute. But the stuff with AD, when you talk about the run that Jonathan Taylor's had, in the second half of every game, Jonathan Taylor gets one of those runs. And we got one. To really put this game away there at the end, we got one. And AD Mitchell, as they showed the replay, it was all A.D. Mitchell has to do there is hold his ground. He really didn't have to do much. He had perfect positioning on the guy that he was blocking, and he decides to grab the guy by the back of the jersey and basically fling him down right in front of the referee, holding call, bring it back. And overall, A.D. Mitchell cost us 14 points in this game, which is so frustrating, right? So frustrating. He's so good. Comes out of this game, 3 catches, 96 yards. Still our top receiver. Just doesn't have the touchdown. And then Daniel Jones' numbers are affected because Daniel Jones ends up 24 for 33, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Should have been 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Because with the way the game went, if A.D. Mitchell never loses the ball in that first touchdown, that's another touchdown for Daniel Jones, right? And then we're in a position without him fumbling that one away and without the holding call, Jonathan Taylor is able to get that run in, right? Then we're up enough that we're never throwing the ball at the end of the game. Daniel Jones never throws another interception, right? Completely flips how this game looks for Daniel Jones and how people will take this for Daniel Jones. He should have had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Instead, having to try to play hero ball at the end, tries to fit one into Michael Pittman Jr., ends up getting intercepted. Right. And of course, the interception at the beginning was definitely Daniel's fault. He should have put it more toward the sideline. It was more toward the numbers. If it was more toward the sidelines, would have been a big play for A.D. Mitchell, assuming he was able to catch it. Ends up being an interception. So Daniel wasn't perfect, but still 22 for 33 for 262 yards and a touchdown. What should have been 2 touchdowns. I thought he played well. I thought coming into this game, Rams have what could end up being the best defense in the league. And I thought, there were different points where the offense wasn't perfect, but for the most part, I thought the offense operated well. The offense today just shot themselves in the foot a lot. AD, his mistakes played a massive part in how this game went. He literally took 14 points away from us. If that doesn't happen, we have 34 points, right? 34 to 27 sounds like a win to me, right? But AD's not the only one at fault here. When you look at it, penalties, 11 penalties for 88 yards. Can't have it, right? So these are things that through the first 3 games, the Colts weren't making these mistakes. We didn't make such silly, outrageous mistakes in this game, in the first 3 games. And then in this game, it's like everything we've done well at different points in this game showed up, but we were always there. Holding penalties all day long. That's really what it was. Holding penalties all day long, and just continuing to put ourselves back, right? Early in the game, right? We end up with a holding penalty after we stopped them on 4th down. We're driving. We end up with a holding penalty. We get a field goal out of it, right? And then later in the game, we get saved by, it was what, 2nd and 18, 3rd and 18, something like that. And there ends up being, I think it was 2nd and 18, would have been 3rd down. But there was the pass interference. They could have called it a holding if they wanted to, defensive holding. After they showed the replay, like it was definitely a penalty, and it would have been an automatic 1st down anyways, however they called it. But them calling it a spot penalty was kind of BS. It was holding, should have been a 10-yard penalty, an automatic 1st down. But nonetheless, automatic 1st down. We got bailed out and when it was 2020, and then the very next play, we get Bernard Raymond with a holding call. It's like, dude, and actually I think it was 2 plays later, because I think the next play was a play that ended up getting backed up, and it was 2nd and 12. If I'm right, it was 2nd and 12. And then the holding call happens. And it's like, dude, you can't. These situations where we had an ability to take over the game, and we made so many mistakes, right? The AD drop, what didn't start it, right? The holding penalty on I believe it was Dalton Tucker on that drive, where we end up with a field goal after stopping them on 4th down. Like those are massive plays. Like essentially turnovers. When you look at 11 penalties for 88 yards, you look at offensive holding in the way most teams usually don't convert after holding calls. Like those are basically turnovers. And we just did too much of it today. Puka Nacua goes crazy, 13 for 170 and a touchdown. Why we had Xavier Howard on him the whole time is beyond me. At some point, you got to make some sort of switch, and we never did. And really, I don't want to go too hard on the defense. I thought the defense played really well today. It's when every time the Rams went into hurry up, we messed up, right? Except for the Tutu Atwell touchdown, the 88-yard touchdown that put the Rams up for good. That one, as they showed the replay, what I saw was Tutu Atwell when he made his move to go to the outside of Mekhi Blackman. Mekhi Blackman, as he went to turn, his foot hit the shin ankle area of Tutu Atwell, and he fell down. So Tutu Atwell ended up wide open. We were also playing with 10 guys instead of 11 on that play. Mistakes that we weren't making, we made against one of the best teams in the NFL. With all the mistakes we made, and this is the positive I take out of this, right? You look at the numbers. I mean, if the Jonathan Taylor touchdown happens, obviously the score is different, but obviously the yardage totals are different also. But either way you look at it, like in a lot of ways, the Rams outplayed us. We had more turnovers in this game. We had more penalties in this game. The Rams had more overall yards than us in this game. So overall, there were a lot of ways where they played better than us today. And when you look at the numbers, they deserved to come out on top. If A.D. Mitchell doesn't take 14 points off the board, you look at the numbers and you think the Rams won the game. But at the end of the day, the Colts should have won this game. With all the mistakes that were made, the Colts should have won this game. And I think that's what hurts the most. Luckily, we won 3 games before, so now we're 3-1. We're still in a good position. We have the Raiders up next, and the Raiders lost on a blocked field goal, so I understand they're going to have their own, hey, we're upset how this went. But with the way this game went, and seemingly we're going to get Alec Pierce back. You would assume we're getting Alec Pierce back. Feel good about getting Magan-Savez back. Hopefully, we'll see how that goes. Getting some reinforcements. This is going to be a very upset Colts team coming in to play the Raiders back at home after taking 2 weeks away from Lucas Oil Stadium. Almost feel bad for the Raiders. Feels like next week might be, you don't want to mess with the Colts territory. And with the way the Colts were in the first 3 weeks, going back into Lucas Oil, I expect us to be back to what we saw those first 3 weeks, not making so many ridiculous mistakes. And at some point, it's going to happen, right? 17-0 was never going to happen. I think coming into the Rams game, especially with the injuries that we had, I think a lot of us knew the challenge that we were up against. Rams, really good defense, really hard offense to stop. And again, with all the mistakes that were made, we had the opportunity. And unfortunately, this one slips away from us, and we're not able to pull away the win. But there's a lot of good that comes from this game. There's a lot of bad and a lot of stuff that needs cleaned up from this game. And I expect us to come out looking more like what we saw in the first 3 weeks when we come out next week. So as we look ahead, there's going to be plenty of content, plenty more to talk about. We're going to there's plenty to talk about this week coming out of this game. Plenty to look forward to. Again, I feel good about us against the Rams. I can understand why people don't, but we have plenty of content coming. So if you enjoy the content, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed with notifications on so you get notified anytime we drop any content here on this channel. Of course, I appreciate you guys stopping by for another video. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.